The galaxy was vast, teeming with species that ranged from the towering Brownax with their crystalline armor to the skittering, hive-minded Shricks. Yet amidst this kaleidoscope of life, one thing united them all: an absolute disdain for human snipers. It wasn't just because of their uncanny precision, it was the unnerving way they operated, as if they were more ghost than flesh. Garran, a human sniper with the United Terran Defense Force, sat perched on the jagged cliffs of Zorian Prime, a planet known for its lethal weather and even deadlier fauna. His partner, an alien named Frillick, a Celtran with 8 eyes and a keen sense of humor, crouched beside him, adjusting his communications gear. You realize they call you the Death Whispers in 17 languages, right? Frillick said, his mandibles clicking in amusement. Garran smirked, adjusting his scope. Catchy. I should put that on a business card. Frillick emitted a wheezing laugh that Garran had come to interpret as genuine amusement. You're lucky I tolerate you, human. Most of my kind would rather chew rocks than work with a sniper. Rocks don't pay well, Garran replied, squinting through his scope. Now shut up and let me focus. I've got a Gorthian warlord in my sights. The Gorthians were a brutish race, heavily armored and notoriously difficult to kill. The warlord in question was standing amidst his retinue, barking orders as their forces prepared to storm a rebel stronghold. Garran's finger hovered over the trigger. Any last words for him? Frillick teased. Yeah, Garran muttered. The shot rang out, impossibly silent despite its power. A moment later, the warlord collapsed, a clean hole through his helmet. The retinue erupted into chaos, scrambling to find cover from an enemy they couldn't see. Garran leaned back, a self-satisfied grin on his face. You know, they say humans are barbaric for inventing snipers, Frillick mused, still watching the chaos unfold through his binoculars. It's not the killing, they get that. It's the waiting. The patience. Freaks them out. Good, Garran said, popping a piece of gum into his mouth. Fear keeps people honest. Their comms buzzed with the voice of their commander, an Andaluvian named Vrelnek. Excellent shot, Garn. Now get moving. Enemy reinforcements are en route. Roger that, Garran said, slinging his rifle over his shoulder. As they descended the cliff, Frillick chuckled again. You ever think about how unfair this is? I mean, Gorthians train for years, eat planets worth of protein, and you take them down with one shot. It's almost cruel. Almost, Garran agreed, smirking. Their extraction point was a battered dropship parked in a clearing. As they approached, they found the pilot, a jittery Hrovan named Tix, pacing nervously. Took you long enough? Tix squawked, his feathers puffed in agitation. Do you have any idea how many patrols I had to dodge? Relax, Tix, Garran said, climbing aboard. We're alive, aren't we? For now, Tix muttered, firing up the engines. As the dropship ascended, they spotted Gorthian vehicles converging on their former position. Garran leaned against the wall, popping another piece of gum. You know, Frillick said, I've been thinking about getting one of those human rifles. Maybe start my own sniper career. A sniper? Garran laughed. You couldn't sit still long enough. True, Frillick admitted. But I'd be great at trash talk. The mood shifted hours later when they reached the orbital station. As Garran stepped off the dropship, he was met with a mix of glares and wary glances. He sighed. It was always the same. Why do they hate you so much? Frillick asked, genuinely curious. Because snipers make war unfair, Garran said. It's not a fight, it's an execution. Makes people uncomfortable. Frillick tilted his head. But isn't that the point? To win. Exactly, Garran replied. But they don't want to admit it. Despite the animosity, Garran was summoned to a celebratory briefing. The Gorthian forces were in disarray, their warlord's death a decisive blow. As the room filled with applause, Garran gave a mock bow. Thank you, he said. I'll be here all week. Vrelnak shook his head, his glowing eyes betraying a hint of amusement. Your methods are unorthodox, Garran, but effective. Just try not to make too many enemies. Too late for that, Frillick quipped. Later, as Garran and Frillick shared a drink in the station's cantina, a group of alien soldiers approached. One, a towering Brownax, leaned down. "You're the sniper?" it rumbled. Garan nodded, bracing for the usual disdain. Instead, the Brownax extended a crystalline hand. "Good shot," it said. "Next time, try not to scare my men so much." Garan laughed, shaking the offered hand. "No promises." As the night wore on, Garan found himself laughing at Frilick's terrible jokes and trading stories with the same soldiers who had glared at him hours earlier. For all the fear and hatred, there was a grudging respect that only grew stronger with each tale of impossible shots and narrow escapes. And in the end, Garan decided that was enough.